Let's start off on number 2 here. So we want to find the vertex, axis of symmetry, and y-intercept. So start off with the vertex here. It's always the x value is negative b over 2a. So this is actually when we got a, b, c here. When b is negative, we're going to turn that into a positive. So then we got positive 4 over 2 times 2. So that's going to be positive 4 over 4, and that'll turn into 1. And so now our y value, we're going to plug in our x value here. All right, so there you go. And so we get 2 times 1 here. We got to do PEMDAS, so I'm going to do that exponent first, that's squared. This is always going to be squared in these types of problems, so I want to make sure I do that first. Then I'm going to do my multiplication, so 2 times 1 is 2, 4 times 1 is negative 4 there, and then we got a plus 6. And finally, we'll add / subtract. So 2 minus 4 is negative 2, plus 6 is positive 4. So my vertex then is 1, 4, just the x and the y value that I got there. And so it's going to be graphed right there. My axis of symmetry is always x equals that x value, the vertex. So that one's going to be a vertical kind of imaginary line here that goes through the vertex every single time. And that's going to help us finish our graph. And then the last thing we need here is our y-intercept. And our y-intercept here is just always the c value. So I'm going to say it's 0, 6 right there. Next point I need is kind of a mirror across the axis of symmetry. So the axis of symmetry should be kind of balancing out the parabola. So since I have that y-intercept over there, I'm going to draw the other point over there. So there you go, and then we'll just connect the dots in a little U shape there. I see that A is positive, which means it should be opening up, which you can see that it is. All right, next up, number 4 here. So I want to find the vertex again, so I'm going to do x equals negative b over 2a again. And so I have here a is negative 1. And b is negative 4, and c is actually 0 in this case. C is always the number out back without a variable, so if I don't have one, it's 0. So since b is negative 4, I'm going to put positive 4 over 2 times a, which is negative 1. So that's 4 over negative 2, and so that's negative 2. So now I need to plug that back in to find y. So I plug it in, it's a negative, and then parentheses, I'll plug in negative 2 for x, and then that's squared. And then minus 4 times negative 2. So I need to do my exponent first. I cannot turn that from minus into plus. So negative 2 squared is actually a positive 4. And then I keep this negative out front. And that's really a multiplying negative. So I'm going to do that in my next step here when I multiply. So negative times 4 is just negative 4. But negative 4 times negative 2 is actually plus 8. So negative 4 plus 8 is a positive 4. And so my vertex then is going to be at negative 2, 4. So that's right there. My axis of symmetry is going to be at x equals negative 2. The x value of my vertex, that's going to be that vertical kind of imaginary line going through my vertex. And then lastly, my y-intercept is always 0, c, but since I don't have a c value here, it's really 0, 0. So that'll be right there. And so since I have the axis of symmetry, I need to count kind of how far that is away. It looks like it's 2 units away, so I'll go 2 units on the other side and get my my graph here. It is upside down because we have the negative a value there as negative 1. All right, next up here, we got another graph. So we're going to do our x equals negative b over 2a. So in this case, b is negative 3, so I'm going to do 3 over 2 times 1. And so that'll be just 3 over 2. So I do need to plug that in to find y. It is a fraction here, so I'm going to need some space. So I got 3 over 2 squared minus 3 over 1 times 3 over 2 plus 5. Just plugging it back into this equation. I need to still do PEMDAS here. So squaring the fraction, you just square the top and then square the bottom. So that's good there. And now I'll do my multiplication. So that is 9 over 4. And then for multiplying fractions, we do not need a common denominator. We just go top times top up top, and then bottom times bottom on bottom. And then I'm going to put down here plus 5 over 1. So now I'll do my addition, but with addition, I really need a common denominator here. So I'm going to turn these all into 4. So this one needs to get multiplied by 2. This one needs to get multiplied by 4. So we have 9 over 4 minus 18 over 4 plus 20 over 4. So now that I have common denominator, I'm going to add all those up, add the numerators, but keep the denominator the same. So 9 minus 18 is negative 9. Negative 9 plus 20 is 11. And so I know my vertex is 3 over 2, comma, 11 over 4. Now that's a little tricky to graph with the fractions, so I kind of like to convert that to a decimal. So the way I think of this is that, let's see, 3 divided by 2, we can do 0.0. And so if I put a 1 there, we can go minus 2. And so that would be 0.5. So we got 1.5. You can also think of it like if you have 2 over 2, that's 1, and 4 over 2 is 2, so that's right in between them. All right, next up, I want to figure out what's 11 divided by 4. The one way to think of it is if you have you can do 11 divided by 4 like this, and we'll just put some decimals there. So then we have, let's see, a 2 there, so minus 8 would give you 30. And so that's going to be 7, so minus 28 is going to give you 20. And so then that would be 5. So this will be 2, and that subtracts evenly. So this would be 2.75. The other way I would think of it is if you had 11 quarters, I would think that would be $2.75. All right, so then we have our vertex would be right about there, 1.5 comma 2.75. Now we know our y-intercept is kind of the easy part on this one, and that is 0 comma 5. So I can draw that one right there. I also have my axis of symmetry here. Oh, not there. It's got to be going through the vertex, so it's going to be right here. So then I can count it over as like 1.5 away from there. So then there should be another one over here to balance it out. All right, next up here I want to factor. So I'm going to look for GCF first. So it looks like on this one I have a GCF of 4, and that'll leave me with x squared minus 5x plus 6. And then I'll just use an x for the result here. So we're going to do a times c up top and b on bottom, multiplying to 6 and adding to negative 5. So I think that's negative 2 and negative 3, because it's going to multiply to a positive 6, so that does work out. I don't need the grouping, I don't need the box on this one because we don't have a number in front of that x squared. The 4 does not count since we took that outside the parentheses, so that's it, we're done. All right, this one we're going to state the max, or determine whether the function has a max or min value. So always do that by looking at just a. So since a is positive, that means that it's going to have a min. I kind of just visualize the graph like that, and the vertex you can see is the smallest point on the graph. And so the min here is our answer. Then to find that value, it's always the y value of the vertex. So I'm going to go ahead and find the vertex. So x equals negative b over 2a. And that's negative 6 over 2, so that's negative 3. But we really need the y value here, so it's negative 3 in parentheses squared plus 6 times negative 3 minus 10. And so we need to do exponents first, so that's going to turn into 9 right there. And now we do our multiplication. And now we'll do our addition. So 9 minus 18 is negative 9, minus 10 is negative 19. So negative 19 is our answer for part B. And then lastly, we need the domain and range. Now the domain is always all real numbers on these parabolas. The range, though, kind of depends on whether it's a max or a min. If it's a min, it's always going to be the y value, and with that y value, the vertex. But to decide whether it's greater or less than, you look at whether it's a min or a max. If it's a min, it's going to be greater than or equal to 19. You can see that all the y values are kind of above that vertex right there. So that's why I would say that. Next up here, 11 and 12, same idea. So number 12, I would say that this is going to be a max because, and the reason that is a is negative. So that'll be an upside down parabola, so the vertex is there at the top. And so now I need to find that that max value, so it's the y value of the vertex. So for part B, I first need to find the x value, negative b over 2a. So negative 8 over negative 4, which is 2. And then I'll plug that back in to find y. Oh, this is b right here because it's attached to x. C has got to be the number without a variable, so I don't have any, that's 0 in this case. So I'll plug this in, negative 2 times 2 squared plus 8 times 2. Got to still do that exponent first. So that's negative 2 times 4 plus 8 times 2. And then we're going to go ahead and multiply now. So negative 8 plus 16, and that comes out to 8. So my vertex here, oh wait, I don't even need to list the vertex because the max value is the y value of the vertex, that is 8. And then lastly, we have part C, which is domain and range. A domain is, again, all real numbers. And then the range is based on the y value of the vertex. However, in this case, you can see the y values are below that, so I'm going to say less than or equal to 8. All right, last step here, I need to factor these. I see there's no GCF here. There's just no number that I can take out, so then I need to use the X box. So I'll go ahead and use the X here, and then I will need to either use the box or the grouping. So A times C here, 6 times 12. You may not know that off the top of your head, so I'll go ahead and show my work. So it'd be 72, but it should be negative 72, and then negative 1. And so when I think of 72, right off the bat, I kind of think of 8 and 9, so I think that that's going to work here. If I just make the 9 negative, so it adds up to a negative 1. However, I do need the grouping on this one, so as a quick reminder on how to do that, we take the 6a squared, the first term, put it there. We take the last term, which is negative 12, put it out back, and then these guys go in the middle, but with the a in the middle. So I got plus 8a and then minus 9a, because they need to add up to that middle term right there. You could have done those in the other order. It should all end up in the same thing. So now I'm going to use my grouping technique here. So the first group I can take out 2a, which leaves me with 3a plus 4. The second group I can take out a negative 3, which leaves me with 3a plus 4 as well. Remember, when you take out a negative, it's going to change the signs. So then I have 2a minus 3 times 3a plus 4, and I'm done.